Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Trades Secrets, the official podcast of Trades Education Center. And today is a very special episode because for the first time, we're going to have somebody outside of plumbing on the show. And I'm really excited to have Jake Blickenstaff from UC Properties. Did I get that right?
UC Premier Properties.
Thank you. UC Premier Properties. He is not only a realtor, but commercial broker and a whole lot of other things. So, Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. Well, first, I want to talk about how you and I got connected, which is through
the Jackson Chamber of Commerce.
Exactly. And of course, the more I learn about Jake is he's not just a member of Jackson County Area Chamber of Commerce, but about three others.
Yeah, I use that as one of the primary, I guess you could say, business building techniques for my business in real estate. It's just a great organization where other local businesses are already members of.
Yeah.
And their entire premise is to help other businesses grow their business. And so, like, what better way than to be able to, like, your membership or your fee to join is essentially your access to the list of members. And not a lot of people look at it like that. They're like, oh, I don't want to go to networking events, especially if that's not your thing. But really, like, your access to that list of other people that are trying to grow their business is huge.
I like that. And that's something that I've learned. I really didn't do any of that in my past careers until now. And once we started with Jackson County and now with our nonprofit Little Red Acorn, we're with Jackson and Barrow. And man, you're right. What it unlocks is the possibility of relationships.
Yeah.
And the possibility of working with others to promote everything that everybody's doing. Because I mean, typically the people that join those, they're wanting to grow, but they're also looking for other people to grow with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've really appreciated that. And it, like you said, it gives you an automatic in. I mean, that was the email I got from you. Hey, I saw you guys on the chamber. I'd love to talk. Cool. Let's go.
Yeah. And I mean, whenever anybody, let me back that up. If you are new at networking and trying to get to a place in your business, and this is 100% important on the trade side, where it's like everybody wants to be known in their community, but that doesn't happen unless the work actually gets done on the front end. And so with the Chamber of Commerce, for me, I can almost say I kind of cracked the code with this of like having those conversations with those individuals. You always want to try to build rapport immediately.
Yeah.
And so if you're both simultaneous members of an organization, that's an easy rapport connection. Mm-hmm. And so as soon as you say, hey, we're both members of the Chamber of Commerce, I'd love to just come out and learn more about your business.
Yeah.
And so now I'll automatically, like what I like to call the BS wall that anybody feels like if they're getting sold to, like that goes away because it's like, okay, yeah, let's talk. And then through that natural conversation and process, I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm also in commercial real estate. If there's ever anything I can help you with, just let me know.
Yeah. I do love that. And it's something that one of my partners, Chris, has talked about that he enjoys. Yeah, because a lot of times the events, things you go to, you might not be talking to decision makers that first time, but chances are if you talk to them, if you're genuine, upfront, honest, all those things with those individuals, they're going to carry your name and business back to the business owner. Mm-hmm. And then the next time it'll be a different event where the owner is there or the decision maker is there. And now you've got that soft handoff, from whoever works in their office or whatever. And I've definitely seen that. It's been really neat to be at different events, to engage with different levels of, authority, if you will, in different businesses and, kind of work on those relationships and build on those to see where it might lead because you really don't know where it's going to lead.
Yeah. And in my business, granted, I'm in sales, but at the end of the day, it's all about relationships for me. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of individuals that are in my industry specifically that are very transactional. So like if they're not getting something directly out of a relationship right then and there, boom, they're going to the next person.
Yeah.
So I came up with the mindset of I wanted to be a connector within my industry because like if Keith, you say, hey man, I'm looking for somebody to do this. If I have somebody in my network that I can instantly connect you with or like, man, I actually know somebody. Like regardless if I don't get anything from that value exchange right there, I've now increased my social status with you to where now in the future, if anything does come up that does relate to me, you're automatically like, oh, you need to call Jake.
Yeah.
And so like if you do that enough, and obviously, we all have to eat in our businesses. So like if you do that enough, eventually that love starts coming back to you in the same way. And like honestly, that's how I built my business over the last 5 to 7 years, and it's paid off tenfold.
I love it. And I do. I agree with that. I wish I could shout it to the mountaintops, or from the mountaintop, I guess, to a lot of small businesses. Make the, I mean, if let's say, they always say marketing, you're supposed to be putting at the very least what 10% of your business into marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's say a lot of businesses aren't doing that. Okay, well, at the very least, put that 10% in joining a chamber or two.
Yeah.
I mean, that's marketing right there. I
Yep.
mean, even that would help you move forward or at least maintain what you're doing, if not try to grow. So I hope you don't mind us talking about that. I just thought it was such a neat way that you and I connected through that because of the chamber. And I want to toot their horn. I mean, all the chambers locally do a great job
Yeah.
of connecting people and helping grow the community. So
Yeah, if you're a small business, I would highly advocate. If you're not already a member of the Chamber of Commerce, definitely check them out, attend their events, use my entire strategy that I just told you about, and then just go meet everybody that you can.
yeah, absolutely. All of them had networking opportunities that take an hour out of your an hour and a half out of your week, maybe, or maybe out of a month.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Now, going back to UC Premier Properties, how in the world did you get into real estate? And again, I'm going to make it connect to skilled trades. So give us the lowdown.
So I wear many different hats and have many different titles today. But really, it all started. So I was in the Navy and stationed out in Hawaii as a gas turbine electrician. So we worked on the engines that propelled the ship through the water.
Wow.
It was super cool. Loved it. Didn't really do well with the whole military thing. So kind of got out of that, but then transitioned into working in power plants.
Okay.
So I got started as an operations and maintenance technician. And then from there, wound up getting back into the electrical field as an INC technician, and then eventually ended my career in that industry as an electrical INC supervisor or electrical superintendent for a power plant.
All right, so what does INC stand for?
Instrumentation and controls. So we worked on all low voltage, high voltage, rewiring motors, all that kind of stuff. So basically anything that had power within the plant or had a control system attached to it, we were responsible for.
So the systems that make everything work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So now I do have a question backing up to the Navy. How did you fit? You're a tall guy.
Yeah. So I'm 6'5". I was definitely on a surface ship, so subs weren't for me, and I like daylight.
Yeah.
But no, like the first month, I probably had a couple concussions just from cracking my head on everything above me. But you learn to be able to walk and bob and weave wherever you're going, just like any job site.
Sorry, I just had to. I was like, dude, you're 6'5". Like, how are you gonna pull that off? Like every doorway I've seen in a ship, either submarine or regular, is not tall.
Yeah, lots of ducking, lots of knots on the head.
Very cool. So lots of core strengthening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. All right, so you make your way through the military, which gave you a lot of background, a lot of training, which allowed you to parlay that into the electrical field or the power.
Yep.
And then how did you move from power out?
So while I was working in different plants, we worked crazy hours. So it was like a DuPont shift schedule. So we worked days one week, nights the next. And for anybody that hasn't done that, don't sign up for it. It's not fantastic. But your body kind of gets used to everything, but it's still absolutely miserable.
Sure.
So lots of late night shifts on with other guys that have been in the industry for 30, 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And I always enjoyed, regardless of the industry or environment that I'm in, I like talking to the old heads and just finding out what makes them tick, why they've been doing this for as long as they have and everything else. So one of the common questions that I would always ask is dude, you've been doing this for 30 years. What are you going to do when you retire? And so the common answer, surprisingly, that I got across the board was nothing. And I'm like, I couldn't wrap my head around this. So it's like
going from full tilt to nothing.
Yeah, you're working 30 to 40 years of your life, trading time for dollars, and that's fine. We made good money. We called it the golden handcuffs. You're making 120, 150 a year, but you worked your butt off.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't sign up or wrap my head around that. Now I'm going to do nothing after this entire time and enjoy what little sliver of life that I have left.
Yeah.
I felt like I was the only one unplugged from the Matrix, to be honest. And so on top of that mindset, and probably about 10 years ago, I started noticing anytime I started doing work, my hands started aching and cramping
Oh, wow.
to where I was like, man, I either have like severe onset tendonitis or something going on. I was like, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I was looking for some kind of out, and real estate just happened to be it. So I wound up walking away from one of the plants that I was at and got a great idea that I was going to start being a real estate investor, and then quickly learned that that was not going to work. Because if you are unaware, you have to have a lot of education, a lot of knowledge, and a decent amount of money, or at least be able to find some money.
Yeah.
And so I had like none of those.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I'd already taken the plunge, and I was like, man, I'm already committed. How do I stay in this industry and, still try to make a living? So I wound up getting my real estate license.
Okay.
And so when I did that, like I spent a bunch of money on training and courses, and like, let's just put a number on it. So I spent like $15,000, and then I think I got like $6,000 back from
Okay.
like closed deals. So I was like, this isn't a good return on investment. So unfortunately, I wound up having to go. I took a job as a supervisor at the last plant that I was at,
Oh, okay.
just to kind of get my feet back and bearings back. I'd gone through a divorce.
Okay.
And so got back to a new plant, was making good money again. And I was like, man, I'm really going to get this real estate thing lined out while I was over here. And I will advocate anybody that's trying to start their own business or start something new. Like, I've done the impossible of like just taking a leap.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun.
No.
Like, if you have the ability to have a side hustle and to slowly build something while you're learning it, like, I would recommend everybody do that, because I've done the burn the boats thing. And like, for me, it worked the second time, but there was
Yeah.
a lot of heartache and stress the first time.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say that I wound up really doing really well in real estate. So much so that I was able to walk away from the other plant.
Okay.
Been doing it full time for the last 4 years.
Wow.
And just absolutely crushing it.
4 years, which means you went full in the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, actually, the pandemic was like gangbusters for us.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
Not only prices, but like just activity. We were deemed, what was the
essential?
Essential. Yeah. Yeah, that one. So, I mean, it was fantastic. And so now, like, real estate kind of day to day, like I said, I wear many hats.
Yeah.
So I'm a commercial broker. We run a team of about 36 agents across the Atlanta metro area,
Wow.
state of Georgia.
Okay.
So they're residential agents that have the desire to learn commercial. So we teach and train, kind of hold their hand through the process, put some deals in front of them, put them on some deals.
Okay.
Really just kind of training them up to be as successful as possible.
So you're doing for them what either someone did for you or what you wish someone would have done for you.
Exactly. If I would have had the setup that we have for our team right now, like, it would have shortcut
a lot
of
heartache,
the stress and success that I wanted. So that's on the brokerage side.
Okay.
On the investment side, we run an investment and development company, Altitude Development Group.
Okay.
So we have a pretty high goal that we're trying to shoot for. We want to own $100 million in real estate in the next 10 years.
Wow.
So we're looking at roughly about $10 million per year to acquire.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we primarily look, I think, like secondary, tertiary markets, downtown retail.
Okay.
So think downtown Main Street, any of those old dilapidated buildings
that nobody's doing anything with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we come in there, we have the capital to be able to buy those, renovate them. Being on the brokerage side, I know tenants that have the desire to move and expand.
Okay.
So we can usually lease those up. And then once we have a stabilized asset, we usually just refinance it, pull some money out, and roll it over into another property.
That's cool. I mean, what a neat thing. And I think this is where we see the tie into the trades.
Correct.
Because you guys, in those efforts, the trades are all in it.
Absolutely. Like, I already wear a ton of hats as it is. And, I promised myself a long time ago, I will not be the one that's swinging a hammer. But I do love the individuals that like truly love their craft and have the attention to detail of knowing, and, they're the professionals.
Yeah.
And so, like, I got no problem saying, hey, Keith, man, I got a project coming up. Like, if you're in the business, would love either somebody or, put this project in front of you so that way we can get a quote on it and knock it out.
Well, and because it's extremely important for you guys, because y'all are not just buying and selling, y'all are owning these properties that you're investing in. So y'all have to stand behind the facilities that you have. You have to be able to tell tenants, we're here, we're going to be behind you. y'all are going to be the ones that take care of, or I guess, take care of a lot of those issues that come up over time.
Yeah.
That are going to involve electricians, plumbers, carpenters, whoever. So, I mean, I see that. And I think that's what I got from you from the first time we met, was just the immense amount of respect you have because of your background in the military, but also now you have a chance to kind of pay back, if you will, to the trades because of what you're in now. You can envelop the trades into what you do and, in a sense, pay back.
Yeah, no, 100%. The path that we're going on, a rising tide lifts all ships, is what I like to say. So,
Mhm.
like, the more projects that we're able to do, the more people that we're potentially able to employ, or at least our GC is able to employ through the process.
Yeah.
And, just it helps everybody. And then, like, our entire mission is just the revitalization of downtown communities.
That's cool.
Like the walkability, like, depending on where you're listening from, I'm not talking about Atlanta.
No.
I'm talking about like
Nor-
Monroe or Kennesaw, Marietta, Woodstock. So like all of these secondary markets that like 10, 20 years ago, they were kind of like not necessarily blips on the radar, but they weren't booming.
No.
Well, now everybody, for the most part, what we've seen in the market are people are trying to escape that downtown Atlanta vibe.
Yeah.
And they want that, not necessarily Mayberry, but they want
Hometown.
absolutely that they want that hometown feel. And so like the live, work, play environments
Yeah.
where you're, 20 minutes from just about everything that you want to. And if you want to go to the downtown area and it's walkable with stores and restaurants and everything
Mhm.
else, then that's kind of the vibe that we're seeing. And that's 100% as far as Northeast Georgia is concerned.
Yeah.
That's where we're focused.
Well, and it kind of plays into some of the trends and some of the changes we've seen in the workplace, especially since the pandemic. I mean, I know a lot of companies are really making that push for people to come back to the office. And I see that. And I know that part of that is driven by we have empty offices that are not being used and we're paying for. But at the same time, for some of those, like you said, secondary and tertiary markets, I mean, you do have a number of people out in those areas that are working from home at least one day a week, if not two or three.
Yeah.
And so having those live, work, play environments really draws in those families to say, wow, great, I can work from home 2-3 days a week. I might be an hour out from the office, but that's okay,
Mhm.
because I've got all this available to us.
And one of the things that we're also seeing that directly correlates to our audience right now with the trades is like industrial and flex warehouse space. So from like 1,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet, depending on kind of where you're at in your career growth cycle.
Yeah.
Like those are super popular assets right now. And so like I have probably about 15 trades or service related businesses that like, Jake, if you find this place, like we are either going to buy it or lease it immediately.
That's awesome.
And so that I mean, that's a huge benefit for anybody that is listening. Like if you guys do have an established business and you are looking for, that next step, you're already busting at the seams or whatever, like having a good commercial real estate broker in your back pocket. I mean, you can reach out to me if you want, but like depending on where you're at, I can put you in touch with somebody. But having access to that to be able to make sure that your business is able to grow is super important.
Yeah. Well, and something that I'm learning, being a part of the chamber is, again, another plug for being involved, whether you're a commercial broker, real estate, being involved with the chamber puts you in contact with some of the decision makers on the local government side.
Absolutely.
So you can be a part of those conversations and hearing about the planning and development that's coming and being prepared for that. Being prepared for, I know that's coming down the line. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my feelers out here and there and making connections to these people because they're going to be bringing things to this area.
Well, that's actually a great topic. So one of the things that I always do, not only as an investor and a broker as well, whenever we're moving into a new market, so like we're focused on commerce pretty heavily right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's got close access to 85, Jefferson's booming, everything, Brazelton, Hamilton Mill. So like that continued path of progress up 85 is what we're paying attention to.
Great school system in commerce.
Absolutely.
People move there to be a part of that community.
Well, when we had first moved into that market, I went and sat down with the economic development director and downtown Main Street manager. And I said, hey, we have this property under contract and I'm a broker. So I have contacts of like different businesses that want to move into area. Like it's all green to me. Like I don't care who we put in the space, but you guys have
It matters to them.
a direction of like who you potentially want to see down here. I said, so give me that short list and let me go do the legwork. So that way I can kind of facilitate your vision of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Like, dude, their eyes lit up and they're like, oh, that's awesome. And I mean, honestly, it made my job easy.
Well, yeah. because then it gives you a real, I mean, it helps you have a pretty clear market as to who you can go toward
Yeah.
and offer that thing instead of a shotgun approach. And
Mhm.
I don't know who's going to bite.
Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, it's all green. But I usually like to have good relationships with any of the local municipalities because you never know when you might need something down the road.
Yeah,
Have to get a permit, and I'm
sure.
not saying that anybody gives anybody preferential treatment, but like
No.
if you're easy to work with, then usually things get done in a more seamless manner.
Yeah. Again, not having that, at the very least, not having an adversarial relationship with local government's a
Correct.
good way to go.
Yeah, yeah. That what's the old saying? It's easier to catch flies with honey than it is with.
That's exactly the vinegar. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah. So, well, that's really cool. I think that's what, again, going back to the conversation that you and I had when you came here to visit, I think that was what excited me was great. I can get somebody not plumbing on here, but also learning your background of the skilled trades. And I think that's part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to let people know that the skilled trades are a part of everything. And that's not to say that the trades are the be all end all, but it just means that every part of our economy, every part of our industry is so interconnected
Yeah.
that if we get too much in our own silo, that it's hard to recognize the help that we could get and the help that we could be to others if we're willing to work with other people.
No, absolutely. And that was one of the reasons that I was excited after I met you over here the first time at the Trades Education Center. Like seeing what you guys built. I mean, it's fascinating. Um, Kind of goes back to what I'm doing with my team as far as like what we're providing. Like if I would have had that when I first got started,
Yes.
like it would have been a game changer. So unfortunately, going back to my military career, like I learned everything that there was associated with gas turbines and electrical. And then when I got out into the field and started working in power plants, like the first couple of years, it wasn't that big of a deal. But when I got into a supervisor role and they're like, hey, you guys need to go bend conduit. And I'm like, dude, I didn't bend conduit on the ship. Like I was never even taught that. So like my base level of education that's supposed to be known by everybody in the electrical field, I'm like, I skipped that day. Like we
Right.
didn't have that. So I mean, seeing what you guys are creating here, it's super neat because I know that being able to walk into a job and like truly understand like what your job description is
Yeah.
and to be confident in your ability to go be able to produce or do that, like for one, it's fantastic to be able to walk home or go home at the end of the day and just like know you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
But to not have that anxiety of like, oh, I'm going to dread my job today because I'm going to get asked to do something that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and again, I think, like you explained about what y'all are doing, like it's just so relates to how we're doing plumbing. Like there's residential and commercial and industrial plumbing. Well, we're going to give them a kind of a ground level, understanding of all those where principles can apply to all of them. And I think y'all are doing the same thing. Like y'all are bringing along, real estate agents to help them understand the commercial side because it is a different beast.
Oh, yeah. Totally different animal.
But y'all are giving them the opportunity to learn, from the ground what that looks like, how it does relate to residential and how it doesn't, and how it's parts of it are absolutely different,
Yeah.
because I'm sure timelines are different, and you know, gosh, I'm trying to think, permits are all those things are different.
Yeah, I mean, you got leases, like different property types have different things that are important. Who the end user might wind up being, what's going to be important to them. So, like, if it's a retail space, people care about, like, does it have visibility? If it's an
Mm,
industrial space, people care, like, is it close to primary highways? If it's
mm,
transportation logistics. So, like, every asset class has its kind of unique personalities about it. But
yeah,
I think the important part, and this is similar to like what you guys are doing, of just being able to like be given a baseline level of knowledge.
mm,
And then like, yes, you still need to go out there and try to do the work. But if you have questions at any point in the time, like you have somebody that you can come ask those questions to without getting chastised or anything like that.
yeah,
Now, I know when I was in the industry, sometimes you'd still get popped upside the head. If you asked there's no such thing as a stupid question, but you found out that there were some stupid questions.
no, I'm glad you said that because I know that's part of what we try to prepare the apprentices for
Yeah.
is you're going to run into some people in the industry that are still of that mindset that you don't know anything, which for the most part you don't. And you might get yelled at a lot, but also you might not get yelled at as much if you've got some basics with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of what you're speaking to.
Yeah. I think regardless of the industry, asking the right questions and just paying attention to what's going on,
Mm.
like that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been worried about getting chastised, and like I use self-deprecating humor on a regular basis anyway, so it's like, yeah, I'm an idiot, but go ahead and give me the answer here.
I agree with that. I use that a lot. I say use it because it's true. Like a lot of times I don't. So I just need some help. I I know I didn't do it right. Just tell me, please.
Yeah.
So, well, anything else how do people find you guys?
So you can find me, Jake Blickenstaff, or Jake Blickenstaff Realtor, pretty much across all social media platforms. You are also on my podcast, the Northeast
Yes.
Georgia Real Estate Podcast. We interview
Right
other
there.
local business owners, talk about what's going on in the real estate market. And also for anybody that's out there listening, like I would love if you guys, because you're in the field, you're working with clients on jobs. Like if you guys come across anything that like there's any indication that somebody's willing or wanting to potentially sell a building, maybe they're finally getting around to some renovations.
Mm.
If you guys hear that, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to any potential property owners that might be coming on the market or they think about that. Those are great opportunities for us. We, for the most part, work all over the state, primarily focused in Northeast Georgia, but we'll pretty much look at anything. And
Awesome.
if there's anything that I can help anybody on here with, please let me know. I'm happy to make any connections that would help.
Cool. Well, I feel like I found a needle in the haystack of real estate professionals because you're not just in there, you're a skilled trades guy, with your background. So I appreciate the opportunity to have you on. And folks, check out UC Premier Properties out here, as he said, all over the state, but particularly in Northeast Georgia. Look up Jake Blickenstaff. He's been great to get to know. And again, we're both going to plug. Get involved in your chamber, man. It's a great way to get support. It's a great way to get encouragement and learning.
Yeah.
Just for your business and for your community, really. So thank you again, Jake. Appreciate you having on.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it, bud.
Folks, it's been another great episode of Trade Secrets, the official podcast of Trades Education Center. Thank you again to Jake. Y'all have a great day.